morning, and welcome to this Zoom edition of Focus on the Palmetto State. I'm Nelson Weston. Joining us is Frank Monsbach, Executive Director of Bike Walk Greenville. Thank you so much for joining us today, Frank.
My pleasure.
Now, Frank, to our viewers who may be unfamiliar with your nonprofit organization, can you tell us what Bike Walk Greenville is all about?
We formed Bike Walk Greenville back in 2013 with the goal of investment by government in safe biking and walking infrastructure. Most people realize that we've been designing our communities for cars for far too long, and we organized to try to lobby to get more investment, more bike lanes built, more trails built, more sidewalks built, and safe routes to schools. That was our goal when we formed this organization.
Now let's talk specifically about the Lakeview Link project. What was the specific reasoning behind that particular project?
Well, the Lakeview Link connects Lakeview Middle School, which is on Old Buncombe Road, only 0.4 of a mile to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. And the Momentum Bike Club has an after-school program there to get the at-risk kids. That school is 100% free lunch. It's a Title I school, and the Momentum Bike Club does a great job by getting kids on bikes, getting them on the trail. And they had difficulty getting to the trail because they had to go on either Sulphur Springs Road or 253 West Blue Ridge Drive from the school to get on the trail. And there's no way you can ride your bike on those roads. They're far too busy, they're unsafe. And so Ty Houck, the Director of Greenways for Greenville County Recreation, worked for a long time to get right-of-way easements from the property owners behind the school. And he succeeded in doing that and announced that he has received the easements, and now he has this project he wants to build. And he approached us at Bike Walk Greenville about raising money to make this happen. And that's how we first got involved. That was in August of 2017.
Speaking of fundraising, talk to us about the construction and fundraising phase of this project.
Once we negotiated a public-private partnership with the county, I thank former Chairman Butch Kervin and Joe Cornell for agreeing to a 50-50 partnership. And the goal that we established with the county in December of 2017, that if we raised $100,000 by the following June of 2018, they would in fact build this trail. And so that was kind of unique. I'm not sure there's much of a record of public-private partnerships with Greenville County. So we were proud to achieve that, and the first thing we did was we said we needed to tell the story. And we commissioned a friend, a bike riding friend who has a video company on the side, Mark Collette, and he produced a 90-second video that we used to promote the story. And we showed these kids trying to get to the trail and how important it was for them to be on the trail. And that led to our fundraising efforts, and we were very successful. We got some major donors from around the community and a lot of minor donors, and we wound up raising over $110,000, exceeded our goal, and it was very satisfying. Very satisfying thing to do, because we were new at this. We've never really raised money, but it was a great story, and we raised the money, and we got the famous photograph with the big check, handing it to county councils.
Can you tell us about that new interesting sculpture that was recently installed on the trail?
After we got the trail going and construction started with county crews, I started thinking about what more we could do. And it was just around that time, it was the end of 2018, when the Dick Riley statue was unveiled in front of the Peace Center in downtown Greenville. Mm-hmm. Charles Pate Jr., who my wife taught in Sunday school when he was a little kid, he was one of the artists on that sculpture. And so I started thinking, and I was riding my bike down the Swamp Rabbit Trail one day, and I saw a mother with a little kid, little toddler on a Strider bike. And the mother was so proud, and the kid had a smile on his face. And I said, that's it. We need a statue of a mother and a child. happy to be on the Swamp Rabbit Trail and the safety of the Swamp Rabbit Trail. So I approached Mr. Pate. He hadn't heard me. He knew who I was. We hadn't talked. And first thing he said when I told him the story, he says, "Mr. Mansbach, you cannot afford a mother and a child in bronze. It's too expensive." So, because sculptures are expensive. And so Charles Pate, it was a great experience, and we developed the concept of just the child on the Strider bike on a big block of granite. And that process was about a year from the time we first thought about it to the time we raised the money to create it, and the time we installed the big foundation, which we did first, the granite foundation. Kyle Gillespie with Gillespie Tile, with Gillespie Marble, did a great job on that. And then we got the statue installed, and it's been sitting out there for over a year now. And it's such a satisfying thing to see 500,000 people on the trail, seeing our motto that we all want to have a safe place to walk and ride a bike. And so it's been very satisfying to have that statue done.
Frank, as you know, Greenville is a car-centric city. Do you and the members of this organization believe that Greenville has become more biker-friendly over the past few years? And if so, how?
Well, I think the Swamp Rabbit Trail has been transformative in the 10 years we've had the trail. Everybody agrees with that. And we're all looking forward to the new extension of the Swamp Rabbit Trail out to CUI Car. And when that section opens in early 2022, that is going to be transformative because of the density in that section. There's so many apartment houses and so many businesses, and the bicycle mode share will increase dramatically because there'll be a safe place to commute by bike, run errands by bike, not just recreation. The vast majority of bicycle use is for recreation. And we want to see more people on bikes. And the city of Greenville is embracing that. Their new master plan says we want to have people that don't need to own a car. They can live happily in Greenville. I'll just give you one statistic about that. We did a little survey a few years ago of what percentage of people in Greenville County live in a place that is called a walkable community. There's an organization called Walk Score that measures every neighborhood. And we calculated out that only 3% of Greenville County residents live in a walkable community. And bikeable community is similar. So it's a very small number of people who are lucky enough to live where they can safely get around without an automobile.
Are there any other projects that the Greenville community can look forward to?
Well, actually, there's one that's on the books, and there's an old story about advocates for bicycle and walking infrastructure that you measure your success in decades, not years. Well, just last week, Mayor Brandy Amidon in Travelers Rest posted that the project that we first started in 2016, when we went to the Swamp Rabbit Trail intersection in downtown Travelers Rest in front of Sunroof Adventures and Tan and Creperie, we had volunteers all day on a Saturday, and we counted 1,600 people crossing that intersection on bicycles and on foot. And we took that information and had meetings with SCDOT along with city staff. And SCDOT said, "Oh, well, that's a large number, but you realize you can't stop all the cars for people on bikes." We were proposing a diagonal crossing because right now you have to go through 2 light signals to cross that intersection when you're on your bike or walking. And we said, we want to go diagonally. It's called a pedestrian scramble intersection. There are a number of these around the country and in South Carolina. And over a long period of time, the city is to be congratulated because they've embraced it, and SCDOT has now approved this diagonal intersection. And the city of Travelers Rest is actively working on that, and Mayor Amidon just announced and thanked us in her announcement that it will be built this spring. So that's going to be a major victory because it's going to be much, much safer for everybody. And the cars will have to wait for the people. It's a nice thing to see.
As a nonprofit, are there any other volunteer or donation opportunities available?
We're always looking for projects. And interestingly, we're actually working with a group that lives in a series of subdivisions off of Foothills Road, and just recently, this group of people is coming together for a project to get safe access to the Swamp Rabbit Trail for about 300 homes. And that's a project we're just starting on. The county has looked at a little opportunity to connect a couple of neighborhoods that are not connected and keep people off a busy road and be able to get through with a small 1/10 of a mile connector between neighborhoods, get people safely to the Swamp Driver Trail. So that's a project we're just starting on, and we will be publicizing opportunities to maybe support that. We hope maybe to be a public-private partnership with the county on that one as well.
Now, Frank, that is all fascinating work. Now, if anyone wanted to learn more about Bike Walk Greenville, what would they need to do?
Well, you can follow us on Facebook. We out there. I'm the old guy doing social media. We try to put interesting content out there. And we have a website where we have a series of blogs going back to 2013. You can read a bunch of stuff about what we do. And so just follow us at bikewalkgreenville.org on the website, or Bike Walk Greenville on Facebook.
Frank, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.